Hey everybody, super producer Todd here. Just wanted to let you know, Retrospects is currently taking a hiatus for about a month or so while we get everything reorganized so we can come back with some new content. In the meantime, we are doing beta episodes for some different ideas we wanted to do, and this is the first one. This is Justin's Pokemon podcast. If you like it, please let us know. Facebook, Twitch, any way you can. Just download it more. Just tell your friends. And if it's successful, we'll keep doing it because we like all kinds of content. So thanks for listening.
Justin finally got a Pokemon podcast.
In parentheses, in spite of Todd.
We just couldn't figure out a way around
Like
it.
I was just gonna hope it was like Justin's show, but like the title card is just Justin written in crayon.
Like the Amanda show.
Can we do that actually? Can you like make the title card for this one the Justin show?
You got MS Paint, don't you?
Oh yes, hold on.
Hot damn.
Oh snap. Hold on. We doing this. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fucking doing it live.
No, we don't do that live. Don't do that live.
not on Twitch.
Podcast.
All right. Woo! Oh, I'm not screen sharing with you guys. It is done and it looks terrible. But I love it.
I drew a Pokeball.
I did it.
It's just a poop.
I did it in the true American colors. Wait, are we live on Twitch right now?
We sure
Like,
are.
I want to imagine you
Here you go,
thought
Todd.
you drew a Pokeball, but it's like a really detailed boob,
Yes.
like bumps on the areola and everything.
So,
Sorry, go
Todd, here you go. I'll just send it to you.
Okay. I'm here for this. Waiting. Still waiting.
Hold on. I gotta put it on my desktop. I'm actually leaving the title untitled just because fuck it.
Untitled Goose Game.
Yes. Can I upload it to Slack?
Sure can.
Sweet.
This is good.
This is
That'd
good
be
I
good.
want
podcast.
them to make like a sequel to Untitled Goose Game, but it just be like really cheesed off Badger. Or
Yes.
no, Honey Badger, yeah.
Honey Badger, yeah. So
Honey
you just,
Badger.
like, attack everything?
Yeah. It'll
Alright, there you
be
go.
like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's a honey badger attacking things much larger than itself.
So, Todd, my computer didn't have new Slack on there. It only had the old Slack, so it's actually on the old
It only
Slack.
has
Oh my
Slack
God.
Classic.
Oh my god.
I left the old Slack, so
Hang on.
it's
All
dead.
right, I'll get it, and then I'll bring it.
Welcome,
over.
everybody, to Justin's show. This is in spite of Todd
God.
not giving me a Pokemon Fatcast. Now you get 2 hours of Pokemon.
No.
Not
That's a
quite 2
really-
hours.
That is a really bad.
Hey, you know what? I wasn't hired for my looks or my
Yeah.
voice. I was hired for my information on Pokemon, and that's what I'm here for.
I need to talk to our hiring director.
I know.
Sadly, I feel like that ends up being me.
HR. Let's wrap.
So I
Let's wrap. Turns the chair
I
around.
get to claim the host seat for the day. With me is Endrew,
Yep.
Todd, our
Hi.
super producer, and then I got Nick, and of course I'm Justin.
Hey.
This is not the normal retrospects because Jim
We're on
is
hiatus.
out.
That's all you gotta say. We're on
No,
hiatus.
Jim
no.
is on a hiatus. That's it.
Jim is on a hiatus, so we've hijacked the show for the next few weeks, and I get to spend the next little bit of time talking about the history and fun of Pokemon, probably my favorite game franchise of all times. I actually really thank you guys for letting me do this because it's awesome.
Just so you know, your title page is called Garbage in OBS.
Nice, love it, absolutely love it because it's absolutely garbage. Like some of the Pokemon in the game Pokemon. There is there is
a
literally
Pokemon
there
that
is literally two Pokemon that are
Rubbish
garbage.
and Gardevoir?
Yes. No, not
Gardevoir?
Gardevoir.
Gardevoir is the one that
the
people
pretty
try and
one.
fuck, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're thinking of Garbodor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that Roll 42 trash?
Yes.
Roll
But
32 trash, excuse me.
before we get started with all that,
34.
64. Whatever. I don't remember internet rules. All right.
Before we
a child.
Before we get started on all that fun, I do want to keep some of the tradition alive. So let's start with, guys, what are you playing this week or in the last 2 weeks?
Okay.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Nick, should I go first? Nick knows what I've been doing.
Oh.
So.
Is it what I think you've been playing? Like, have you been playing Cursed Halo?
Cursed Halo, man, that is something that I do play. I will be playing a single player campaign tomorrow on my little Monday stream.
Jim already spilled the beans. You're playing Wise 9.
Wise 9.
Wise 9. That's my favorite way to pronounce that.
No, actually, good friends, Ranting Media Universe, I have ascended. I am no longer on a 2D platform.
Preach it, brother.
I have made Jesus weep.
VR
There are no more.
I'm waiting for VR
chat. There are no more worlds to conquer.
Guys,
I picked up the Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, shit. He's been playing Beat Saber for the last 3 hours and got caught up in all the K-pop that you can play.
So it's funny because I was playing some Beat Saber, and then I realized all the songs that come with the vanilla version of it sound the same.
Yeah.
Yes, they do, actually.
You know, and so I was like...
Makes it really easy to map out things to hit.
So I was like, well, where are all the cool songs that I've seen people play like on YouTube, right? They're mods. And you have to buy it through Steam. So so I'm going to refund the one I got through the Oculus store. Because I was thinking, there's no wires. I don't have no chance to hit anything. Well, it's like if I have a long enough cable, I won't have to worry about it. But yeah, I'm going to refund that one, get me the Steam version, and I'm going to play the Shrek movie in Beat Saber.
No.
Start to finish.
Wait,
and
hold
the
on,
B
hold on.
movie.
Oh, and the B movie.
Hold on, really quickly. I have to ask. They put the Shrek movie, including Smash Mouth's amazing rendition of All Star for that movie.
With the
I was about to say,
no. That
you
movie,
realize Smash Mouth had 2 covers in that movie, right?
Yeah, did not realize that the second, but no, the soundtrack version from Shrek has a lot of like the nuances from the movie, like him flushing the toilet because it's cued to the music, and it's terrible. So you better have that version if you're watching Shrek on it.
Like that'll ever happen.
Oh god. But yeah, no.
The game is like onions; it has layers.
Oh jeez. I got that. I've been playing also Super Hot in VR because
Super
hot.
I've been
Have you
waiting.
ever played it before?
No. So that was the thing. I've been waiting to play that game.
Good.
You know, because like if I was going to play it, I'm not playing it in any other space but a virtual reality.
I mean, it's still really, really good.
Like the funny thing is, I only started playing it in VR. I don't know, and once I played it in VR. I saw it on PlayStation Store and and Steam, but it doesn't say VR only. So I'm like, how do Flatlanders do it?
Pretty easily. It's pretty
fun.
How do Flatlanders do it?
I have been playing it on Game Pass, and I love it. I think it's one of the most unique puzzle games I've ever played.
I guess you just read a synopsis of the game and then you go to sleep and dream. It sounds impossible to play.
Imagine it in your head.
So, did you get the patch cable for it to hook it up to your computer yet?
I was kind of like, I don't want to spend too much on it, so I bought the protection plan on it with it. Yeah, I feel like I was kind of a mistake, but I ordered a cable. It's supposed to come tomorrow, so I'm not terribly worried about that. But yeah, that is the whenever I get that.
Let me know what you think of Squadrons since you got EA Play that in VR because
I've already played in VR.
Oh, that's right.
I played a little bit through Nick's setup. He had the VR with the flight stick.
I'm super curious about the Quest 2 because the Quest 1 made me want to vomit.
So that's one thing about VR with me. I have never had a really good experience. If I'm in it for too long, and too long, I mean 10 minutes, I'm not feeling very well.
Yeah.
I never played this. Stop.
Yeah. Well, so now with this one, I don't feel it as much. However, I did get this. There is a VR Doom that Nick showed me a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that came out a couple years ago, VFR or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
Doom 3 just got a VR release
Wait,
too.
Endrew, are you talking about Doom VFR, like the one you played on the PSVR?
No.
Oh, you're talking about our old school one.
Yeah, it's like the original old school,
Okay,
Bill Gates walks in from the side with a shotgun Doom. And like you have like VR weapons, and you're walking around the level.
Did you
get
map. That set up?
I did. I got it all set up. It's
fuck yeah.
I got Isabel from Animal Crossing helping me out.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Shooting her shotgun, throwing stuff over my way. But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, like that one is one because you have to use the left stick on the Oculus controller to move, and that one just makes me very nauseous. So
okay, so you're not a move around locomotion type of guy. You're probably better with teleportation.
I was thinking that, but there's also I bought what is it? Please don't touch anything. And
please don't touch anything.
Yeah, and it's just basically like a little puzzle game where you sit there and you touch. You're supposed to touch everything.
Oh, that's that's like a remake of a 90s game, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, Gavin and Michael did it on Achievement Hunter.
Yeah, so I was trying to play that, and that includes teleportation. And I was thinking, well, in the game, in the virtual sense, you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
I can sit in a chair and I'll be fine. No, that was not a good way to do that.
Did you get 666 devil ending?
No, I see the 666, but I don't know how to activate it.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so
that game,
I think draw a pentagram on the ground.
The game has so many different ways to end. Like I did the basic, you press the red button and it
nukes the town.
It nukes the town. Yeah. I was gonna say spoilers, but I mean it's obvious what's gonna happen once you hit a red button.
That's why I leave red buttons all over the place in my apartment.
Yeah, even if they don't do anything, you'll know that someone's gonna try to press it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I think this one in comparison to like the PlayStation 4 VR.
Oh man,
yeah, it's worlds different. Like that one did make me like just playing Resident Evil 7 for like a little bit. I think I walked down that main hall with Jack Baker, looking for you, and I was just like, nope, can't do it. I am very nauseous. So
okay, so one of the things that the Quest 2 does better than the Quest 1 and PSVR is that it has higher refresh rate. Because the PSVR, I think, gets up to 80 frames per second, while the Quest 1 did like 70. And the Quest 2, it does 72 base, but you can crank it up to 90. And they have an experimental feature which cranks it up to 120. So the higher the refresh rate, the
more natural it'll feel.
The more natural it'll feel, and people are said to get less motion sickness. I never had motion sickness, so I don't really notice it that often.
I get it all the time, even like riding in a car with somebody.
Yeah.
Oof, it's bad.
Andrew was the type of kid who, playing a Game Boy, would get sick playing it probably.
Oh, absolutely. Like I had to stop at times because like that, reading a book, whatever. Like it was just like I can't.
That's why Andrew never learned how to read.
I don't know what's this tee-hee. That's D. I'm so far. I mean, I've only had it I've only had it yesterday. Since I bought it yesterday, so I've only had it for a little bit.
Like just about 24 hours, at least as far as I know.
Yeah, just about 24 hours. So,
I mean, that's as far as I know. He's had it for like a week and a half, and he just didn't want to tell me.
No, well, like my tax return came in, and I was like, all right, let's splurge. And so, me and my fiance, we got steaks and VR, and we were gonna watch Kong.
God, Don't get me started on that right now.
But
have you used Big Screen Beta?
I have not used Big Screen Beta.
That was my preferred movie watching app. And you can make chat rooms, so like we can invite multiple people into it.
Oh, okay.
And you all sit in a movie theater.
Wait, y'all both did y'all both get it?
No, I've had a VR. Oh, you're talking about Chris?
I'm talking to Andrew.
I mean, I think they are.
No, it's just one. Just one. We don't need two.
Sure you do. You need one for her, one for you, and eventually Lily's going to need one too.
Oh,
so much power.
Yeah, and then you're going to need one for the bathroom because you can't take Quest 2 into the bathroom, even though it's wireless, but you don't take it into the bathroom.
Yeah, you don't. You want the toilet one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been pretty great. I do, and I don't have any remorse about the purchase right now, other than like the protection plan that I don't know if I'm ever going to need.
Where'd you buy it from?
I mean, you can
return
the protection plan.
Yeah,
can't you?
Yeah, I can.
I feel like just keep it because I bet that protection plan is cheaper than one controller.
It was $60.
Hold on, I'm gonna check something with it.
So that's why.
It's
the controllers that was getting
not that.
me.
I'm looking at something on the protection plan. It's replacement, so it's worth it just because if something happens to it, you don't have to send it. You just get another one.
You get another one. And that's kind of the one thing that was like, man, I just should. Because like I've seen stuff about like, I know it says don't take it outside. And I've seen people take it outside and like.
They probably tell you don't take it outside for the sake of like, don't go run into traffic. Well, let's be real.
No, because the lenses are so sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are very sensitive. So you take it outside, like even putting it next to a window is like bad. It's the same thing like the people who have novelty crystal balls, and when they put it next to a window, they leave for the day and come back, their house is on fire. Mm-hmm. It's because the sun will fuck it up royally. So if you take it outside, you can.
You're talking things on the front, right? The camera is on the front.
Well, no. The lens is inside. If you do take it outside, you can. If you have it on your face the entire time, then it should be fine. But like, if you take it off, like, don't put it outside. Like, put it down just to go get some lemonade, because then you'll come back and it's just like big old burn sparks.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Each controller is $70, by the way.
Okay, so
they're sold out of left ones for some reason.
That's what I was going to say with the whole replacement plan thing is that if something does happen and they say, "Oh yeah, just bring it in replacement," well, are they going to have any when you?
That was my biggest worry.
Want to replace it, and two is that the span between the Quest 1 and the Quest 2, in my eyes, was not very long. And they're already talking about the Quest 3.
Yeah.
It's going to be like an iPad or I feel like it's going to be like an iPad or a watch or something where then Quest 3, if like you own the Quest 2, they're going to be like, it's incremental. And like 5 years later, you're like, okay, when Quest 7's out, now I'm ready for that upgrade.
Well,
like it's not meant to be like
it's because the technology on it is getting like really good for a standalone VR setup. Like this being anyone's first foray into VR, like myself included, I'd say this is a damn fine machine for the price that it is.
Yeah, for $300, that's one of the things that was like made it so like maybe I should, because it was just it's so easily attainable and like I didn't, especially after a tax return, I didn't feel as guilty.
Like the next level up is like a $600 device, and then you got the Index, which is $1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like this is
how much is the Rift?
The Rift S.
Yeah,
I don't even think they make it anymore.
No, it's not on their website anymore.
Yeah, because like since the Quest came out,
okay.
And I have a buddy that actually got the Rift S. I want to say maybe like a year ago.
See, I would see them over the holidays though with the Quest at Best Buy, and I was always like, what's the point if the Quest 2 can do what the Rift can?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about battery or it heating up as much on the face. But
F's isn't even available anymore.
Yeah, but it is completely tethered.
Yeah, okay. That's the big thing is I wanted to have that, away ability. So
also with a child.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's the other thing too, especially with her. I'm not really wearing it like while like if she's napping, I might play. If she's asleep, I might play. But yeah, I also want to like make
Quit
sure.
crying, baby. I'm in the verse.
I'm in a whole nother world. I can't even hear you.
You're in the Matrix right now.
So, are we doing Neat Trash from VR chat?
Oh my god, that is a brilliant idea.
I mean,
yes.
I'm the only one without a VR.
I don't have VR.
You can be in VR chat without VR.
Yeah, you can do desktop VR chat. So it doesn't
That'll
matter.
be fun, actually. That'll be fun, actually.
You could have a desk.
I definitely have VR chat installed on my computer.
An interview couch.
Oh my gosh!
Is it black and leather?
Yeah.
Black and yellow.
I mean, with the avatars I'm going to be pulling in, you better hope so.
Yeah,
where do you download VR chat? Oh, never mind about it.
Steam.
Yeah, it's totally cool. And realize it's free too. Yeah.
So,
all right, Nick, what's the plan?
But also, cheap plug tomorrow. Cursed Halo. Cursed Halo.
Cursed Halo. Twitch.tv/RankedInMedia. That's the 5th at about 8 p.m. 9 p.m.
8 and some change. We try to stick at about 8, but yeah, 8 and some change.
Okay.
He wants to watch the first hour of Monday Night Raw. Make sure it's not garbage before he hops on.
Yeah, really, I do.
What, did they ever start doing WWE in VR?
Well, didn't they have it for like?
They had those cameras that were against the walls.
They don't have them anymore.
No, they do.
The
Big Four still do them. Yeah, so SummerSlam was shot in VR last year, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble this year.
I'm gonna need to check that out, see if I can find something in VR. That'd be kind of cool.
Didn't you have to buy it?
What? Yeah, you have to pay for it. You think they're gonna give it to you for free? Come on. They just signed a $3.6 billion Peacock deal. Of course they're not giving you shit for free.
That guy is Rosie from the Jetsons.
I almost spit take just now. Damn.
All right, Nick, what you playing?
All right, well, I'll tell you what I'm definitely not playing is Deep Rock Galactic because my friends are assholes.
But hey, isn't it great to golf with your friends?
God.
So I've been playing a lot of golf with your friends.
I don't know why he's upset. He's like Tiger Woods.
He won every time.
I did not.
It was unbeatable. Nick too good.
I won most, but not all, and I'm not mad that I won.
Where are y'all playing this?
This video has the pedophile in it. Oh no.
Uh-oh, what?
I was trying to show Golf with Your Friends from Achievement Hunter, but Ryan's in it.
I thought this was like our gameplay, and you were like, this has a pedophile.
Oh yeah,
like,
I can find our gameplay. Hold on.
I was like, what the hell?
Oh my god, Golf with Your Friends is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
What do you think we're playing it on?
Yeah, you think we're gonna?
I thought y'all.
No, we're not paying for that.
Gross, Justin.
We pay money for a subscription, and then we can get it.
Which,
like
by
the
way,
internet is fast and loose, but watch your mouth.
I'm pissed off that Outriders is not on
PC's Game Pass.
That's bullshit.
Give it time. With as buggy as it looks right now, give it
time. I got a buddy who's loving it. He's saying it's great.
Like, I want to play it. I still have the demo, and I was asking if anybody wants to play it.
I'm looking at Todd right there. He's got Outriders demo. It says it right there.
Do I?
I didn't download it.
Do I still have it on? Where?
I'm looking at it. It's okay. Stop moving. So okay, it's next year. Xbox underneath Payday 2, above MSI Afterburner.
Above MSI Afterburner.
How are you seeing this?
I'm looking on Twitch TV. Are you not? Looking at
no. I'm on Twitch TV. No, it's on.
You know my favorite part.
Have a lag.
You know my favorite part of this. You're looking at my desktop from back in time.
Oh shit! Really?
That's not my current desktop.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is 11 days ago. I'm looking at that now. My bad.
I definitely uninstalled that recently.
No, but what I love is you still have fucking Cyberpunk installed.
I reinstalled that.
I still have Cyberpunk installed, and I checked it out after the patch update.
Oh,
I was not impressed.
They did nothing.
No, what are you talking about? There's over 100 fixes.
It doesn't feel like that.
I know. I'm being a smart ass.
Because I know one of the things was the cars were supposed to get a little bit more control on it, and I was like, well, let me try that Caliburn. A Caliburn was ridiculous to drive.
It's still ridiculous.
It's still the same damn thing.
Yeah, they said that they improved bikes. I forgot to actually check how a bike works on it, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like any bike I've ever ridden or seen ridden or imagined.
I tried the bike because I know I usually drove around in the Akira bike. It's a little bit better. You can do a 90-degree turn. That's about it.
Look at that. Nick winning at golf.
Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the score.
I love that. Hold on. I love that par on hole 1 is 2. And the lowest is Endrew, who shot on par. And then you got fucking Ed, who's 14.
By the way, if you want entertainment, look up our video called A Simple Smash and Grab.
Oh my gosh. Payday 2 Smash and Grab. Man.
I mean, it's a simple concept, which Todd, I want to commend you for picking up on the concept and running it flawlessly.
I appreciate you.
No issues whatsoever from this guy. Hey, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Justin has Payday 2.
Oh.
Justin, are you ready for Payday 2 quiz?
Timed out.
He just left. He left.
Just left.
He said, fuck your Payday. I'm out.
Oh, man.
Nick, what else are you playing?
Yeah.
All right, so another game that I am playing is Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Which is a game I bought like a year and a half ago, and I finally said, let's start playing it now. I want to say that the reason that I'm not too good at golf, or that I maybe had a little bit of advantage, is because in the game, you shoot in space and you manage your ships, and you can go mining and you can trade and everything. But there's certain points in the game where you can go to a bar and just shoot pool. And that's what I've been doing a lot of, is shooting pool in a virtual bar. And that's pretty much how golf with friends is like.
But that's pool. We're talking about putt-putt.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
No. We're talking about putt-putt.
I feel like on somebody's birthday this year, we're going to be like, putt-putt. We're going to golf with our friends in real life.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that my arms are nothing like my fingers, so I will
be ladies?
Awful at it.
Oh, man, there are some lucky ladies out there.
I don't even know how that's supposed to be interpreted.
We'll figure it out.
It's the what is it? God dang it! What's the thing in the boat? Help me out here.
Boat? The
rudder?
No. The Dennis system on the boat.
Oh no! The implications.
The implications. Thank you. God, I couldn't think of the word. Yes, it is that. It's exactly that.
Justin is dead.
Justin is dead. Todd.
Hello.
What have you been playing?
Because I only can play the same games over and over. Mostly Rainbow Six. Mm-hmm. I played Payday 2, of course. Simple smash and grab. I don't know what happened. Like, Ed, he said he's been doing this a while, but he seemed really amateur at it.
Guys, I feel like we go over what a smash and grab is with Ed every time we play.
Literally every game.
I don't know. Also, we play golf with friends. Nick won every time and complained the entire time.
Yep.
I did complain the entire time. I'll say that.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm ready for some Deep Rock Galactic. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
User was moved to your channel.
I was excited for Outriders, but of course that didn't come to Xbox Game Pass.
It did, just not on PC.
The console one. Hey, Justin's back.
Justin's back.
I don't do consoles, sir.
Ed is gonna smash our faces, apparently. Good to see that you're in the chat there, Ed. We appreciate that.
Also, the EA Play thing is kind of confusing. It's not all the games.
No.
So funny thing I figured out about that. EA Play has 2 different libraries for EA Play across both the Steam EA Play and the Game Pass EA Play.
Because there's EA Play Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. And
so, dumbass here has both subscriptions now.
Oh, Justin.
Hey.
No.
Well, that means that you have all the EA play.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got all of it.
Because for a minute I was super excited. I was like, does that mean I don't have to pay for Mass Effect the remaster whenever it comes out?
Oh,
And
no,
I was
that'll-
like,
that'll-
No, you will.
that's 100% the pro.
That'll
Yeah.
go pro for sure.
I mean, I'm gonna buy it either way because I gotta support BioWare. If they keep fucking up, though, they might be dead to me.
Give them one. You're gonna give them this one. This is the like.
Look, I
chance
gave them Andromeda too, and I didn't complain.
I've come back through Andromeda recently, and it's not the worst thing out there.
David finished
say
a
that.
lot of it. I started it again, but I could never finish it. I don't remember why. There was some boss that like annoyed me to death over and over, and I gave up on it.
Well, I mean, why haven't we been playing Anthem, guys?
Oh, God.
I was so hyped for Anthem.
Were you
Whenever
really?
Yeah, we played the beta.
I mean, that's
all the
that's
Ranty
a
Media
dead
guys.
game now.
Yeah, it officially died.
I remember you coming to work, you were talking about it, and you were like, "Man, I'm so psyched." And I was like, "Is it good?" You're like, "I'm digging it." And then it came out, and you were like,
I mean,
very,
that's
very.
That's how it is with a lot of this. I mean, me and No Man's Sky. Oh yeah. Oh, I was hyped. I had heart palpitations when that game came out.
Oh, wow.
And it came out.
Then it
Hey,
happened.
but now it's worth it again.
No Man's Sky.
Now it's worth it.
Actually, you know what? I did install it with Game Pass. So if anybody wants to start with me, then I will.
Does it
Sure.
play nice with the
I have it
Steam
installed
version?
right now.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Does
Yes,
it?
it does. Yeah, when they did the Together Forever or the Better Together update last year, or the one that introduced like crossplay, it's open for everything.
See, I'm looking at this
Really?
trailer and I'm getting hyped again, and then I remember that it's a bad game again.
Well, isn't
It's
it
not a bad
just-
game.
That's a bad game.
It was
the worst. Like you have this whole idea that you're going to be flying around like Iron Man and like not even.
Oh, we're
Marvel's
talking
Avengers.
Anthem.
I'm talking Anthem.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
I
Man's
thought we
Sky
were-
is solidly okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like No Man's Sky isn't terrible. Yeah, no, Anthem I heard was not worth it.
Like, I even have the Steelbook case edition for PS4, and nobody wanted to play that with me.
That wasn't even the console for it. Hey,
Which one? Which one? The for No Man's Sky?
No, Anthem.
Oh,
Anthem.
Oh yeah, no, we ain't playing that.
I'm down to hop on some No Man's Sky. I have that installed still.
I remember when those super ships first started appearing, to where you had the chance to get them.
Oh right.
Geoff and I had a race to get one, and I managed to get it. But every time I tried to summon it, it would break. It's like, all right, I guess I'm not using it.
Well, are we talking No Man's Sky or Anthem?
No Man's Sky.
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's like, no, we're talking about Cyberpunk now. Keep up. Come on.
God forbid you ever get a vehicle carrier in Cyberpunk.
Oof.
Man, just wait until that multiplayer comes around.
Did
They-
you see they're thinking about not doing it now?
They said they were indefinitely suspending it until they can get the single player in The Witcher 3.
You might want to check your sources again, bro, because they said, nah, it's cool.
Wait, so
This
they
is
are
cool
or
as
are
shit.
not?
No. Like they're going back. They're gonna. It's just on a pause, I guess. I mean, I guess that's what you were saying.
Okay, so on hiatus until they get
Yeah.
it. Did you say up to Witcher 3 like status?
I don't know
So
about that.
every report I'm seeing is saying that as of right now, that CD Projekt Red official stance is previously we hinted that our next AAA game would be a multiplayer Cyberpunk game, but we have decided to reconsider this plan given our more systematic and agile approach towards primarily focusing on one big experience or game at a time, and we are focusing on bringing line into all of our franchises one day. So they're basically saying, hey, we fucked up Cyberpunk 2077, and we have something else we're working on before that.
Sorry, people listening.
I
Justin's
wouldn't be surprised if that-
internet is dying.
Yeah, it's literally
Dying
dying in front
as
of
we're
us.
listening. Oh no.
Nick, this does make me want to play No Man's Sky again because the carrier looks so much better than it used to.
Back.
That does look really good. That's
Like I have
surprising.
one and it was all fucked up.
Now, what I never experienced was No Man's Sky on PC. So I have the Game Pass version. I have not booted it up yet, but I want to know what was it like on Steam with mods.
Mm-hmm.
I never did mods.
Could you mod it?
Mm-mm.
I feel like it's the type of game that doesn't need mods.
I mean, the whole game is a mod at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Now it is. I'm saying back in the day when it first came out, or at least like 6 months after it came out, or a year after it came out, before they released their super huge updates, like what was the modding community doing with it? Even now, it's like, not that it needs game fixing mods, but I want to see what do the dregs of society, like behind their keyboards, want in a game like this, and what would they put in a game like this so that I, a notable degenerate, would like to put in my game. So, like, if I want all the monsters of a planet to have some big juicy titties, I want that.
Love it.
Right, who doesn't?
I mean, my universe, my rules, you know?
You're not wrong.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
All right. My turn.
We got you're the guy. We haven't done your games, right?
No. So
Okay, so back to news. Go ahead.
My show, and I get kicked to the wayside, just like life. No, I picked up Monster Hunter Rise last week and just dived head deep into that because that's my jam. Absolutely loving it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I thought I was dying again. Yeah, I picked up Monster Hunter Rise. I've been playing that. I've also been juggling. I picked up Final Fantasy 13 for like $7 and wanted to try to give that a shot again. And I forgot that I actually do kind of like it. So we'll see how that goes. I beat Bravely.
Which one was 13? Is that the live one?
No, that's the one that the one PS3 one.
Lightning.
He's talking about Lightning. The one.
Oh, Lightning? Really?
The one with the 2 or 3 sequels.
The freaking paradigm shift crap. I hated that.
Hey, if you make one of them your Sentinel, he'll take the hits for you. And then you have your 2 attackers. If you have 2 attackers, they'll do the damage. But you got to wait until you hit break status, or else you're not going to do much damage at all. But you got to make sure that your tank is
staggering.
Shut the fuck up! I hate you for knowing any of that.
I'm fucking playing it right now as we speak.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I still have that downloaded on my computer, or I did recently. I heard something.
I am hosting now.
I see that.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I cheated it because I just wanted to play the story because I never finished it. So I used cheat engine just to give me max XP, and it's still boring.
Well, because you cheated, you didn't grow, you didn't progress the story naturally.
No, fuck that. I don't care about Snow and his.
You didn't just cheat
love.
the game; you cheated yourself.
And then I've been still hopping on the Halo 4 Halo 4 multiplayer. I think I slept on that when it was on Xbox because I've been having
you and everybody else.
Yeah,
you said 4.
Yeah, he said 4.
Yeah.
So 5.
Don't get me wrong. I don't like it over 3. I'll still play 3. But like, if I get into a Halo 4 multiplayer on Master Chief Collection, I'm not sitting there going, "Fuck this." I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what damage can be done with the broken fucking system they've developed for it.
Guys, Shiva is 2 halves of a motorcycle. You don't understand how cool this is.
No, that was the worst. Yes, Reach is the best Halo.
And they do like some weird scissoring move to become a fucking...
They become the actual motorcycle, yeah.
God, this game is garbage. How did this game get 2 sequels?
Hold on,
because
I'm
they
downloading
needed
it right
to
fucking now.
Crystal Tools.
Oh
God
man,
damn,
those enemy types in this video you pulled, those are really, really just awful looking.
Yeah. I don't like this new character design from Makoto. What about you, Endrew?
What?
That is not Makoto. That is not Johanna.
This said break. Justin, was it stagger or was it break? Because I just saw the word break.
Yeah, I thought it was It's staggering in the U.S. version, I thought.
Oh no! There's a thumbnail that says "accidental incest" and it has what's her face from Shield Hero on it.
Oh no!
No.
But yeah, the big one for me has been Monster Hunter Rise. Like, I think I've got 30 hours in that already, and I'm loving it. It's exactly what I wanted.
So is that a new game?
Yes, so it's built off of RE Engine, using a lot of what they learned from World, but in the same kind of gameplay aspect that was popular with the first 4 games, and to a lesser extent Generations, which was like the anniversary game. So a lot of people who are buying it are seeing like, oh shit, this is not like World, where like it's kind of go at your own pace, do your own thing, but it does have like the open fields of World with no breaks in the zones. They brought back a lot of the features from like 1, 2, and 3 that I loved, which is like you have village quests, which you do in a party, or you can do the story quest, which is completely separate, and you don't have to work on one for the other. So like I haven't touched that much on the story because I'm going through village quests and I'm just having fun. Nice.
So
sorry, I'm laughing at the person getting isekai now.
So Monster Hunter Rise is for the Switch?
Yes, but it's coming to PC next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be a Switch exclusive for the first year and then move over to PC, where I'll probably pick it up again because there is still some technical limitations of the Switch version, like 30 frames. And
like everything.
Did
you play Monster Hunter World on PC?
I played it on PS4. I didn't have a PC that could run it at that point, and I didn't like it because I didn't like the story aspect. And I got to a story beat where I'm like, this isn't Monster Hunter, this isn't what I want to do, this isn't the gameplay loop I like. And then I keep telling myself I'm going to beat that part so I can go, because apparently that's when you unlock multiplayer, and every time I get to that part I'm like, yeah, this is not what I want. And
like, I don't know what it is about Monster Hunter or monster movies or monster shows where people think that people want to watch like a story when they just want giant goddamn monsters.
Yeah.
And to see them either fight or get downed.
Okay, if this is spoilers for Godzilla versus Kong, I'm going to be mighty upset. Yes, Neat Trash is in 2 weeks. Thank you for the reminder, Ed.
I have never really wanted to play a Monster Hunter game until World.
So if you guys if you get into World, by all means.
No, I'm not spending money on it. Is it on Game Pass?
I don't believe so.
I'm all.
I thought it was.
It's coming to PC Game Pass. Is it? It's on the Xbox Game Pass. Capcom and Microsoft have said they're bringing it to PC's version within the next few months. When it comes out, let me know. I'm probably going to cave and buy it on PC because I definitely want to see if I can get back into it, and I'll walk.
Will you Sherpa us?
Yes,
Oof.
I will.
Well, I mean, I played the fuck out of it on PS4, so
yeah.
Did you?
I've seen Nick play it, so
okay, cool.
Look, Joe Cat told me to play, and I listened to Joe Cat.
I watched Gura play a little bit of that.
Oh, did she?
I like how we're showing World.
Best VTuber.
But
not Rise.
This is World. No,
yeah, I know. This is just Joe Cat, who I enjoy. So
yeah. Now I do love the fact that World got a collaboration with Evangelion.
And
so you can get EV unit armor.
Oh wow!
You can get EV unit armor in it. So yeah.
Oh, with Mega Man. Oh, for your Palico.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. I remember that. I think I played all the way up to right after they released the Witcher DLC for it.
Yeah.
I saw Street Fighter DLC at one point.
Right.
I saw Mega Man. I saw.
Oh wait, did that Monster Hunter movie come out?
Yes, it
did.
Wait.
Oh,
there's a movie.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's got what's her face from Resident Evil?
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
Does that mean her husband directed it? Is that what that means?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tony Jaa's in it.
It did not look good. Like Kristen loves Monster Hunter to a point, right?
Was that T.I.?
That movie was
that
point.
Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
No, Chris Pratt's not in it.
Are you sure?
I got you. I know. To a point.
Was that T.I.?
Was it T.I.? No way. Don't say it's T.I.
Yeah, T.I.'s in it.
Oh,
I know that.
Anyways, but
yeah, see, look right there, no T.I.
Yeah, it's T.I. Rodman's in it too.
Yeah, that guy looks just like Chris Pratt. What the fuck? Go back. That guy right there.
Yeah, Andrew, go to the old Slack. I sent you the armor.
Stop going to the old Slack.
Stop using the old Slack.
Somebody tell me that's not Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, one of the weapons.
No, that's not Chris Pratt. That's,
it's
Rick Pratt.
Pratt Chris.
It is the guy from Mad Max Fury Road, though, so that was fun. I know that.
That's the guy?
Yeah, he played...
How sexist of you to notice.
I thought it was only Charlize Theron.
No, he plays one of the what are they called? The bad guys. Yeah.
So the War Boys?
Man, I guess I didn't witness them.
Bro, did she just have the sword from on chains from God of War?
No,
those are the chains of Olympus. That's what that is.
Oh no, I think one of the guys has twin blades.
Yeah,
but they're like on chains.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Let me just say
legitimately grabbing the movie from one of my streaming
of the Monster Hunter.
All right, we need to get off of this and get to other monsters, but ones that we can capture in Pokeballs.
Oh, the pocket.
Yes, we can.
Everybody
ones, but not the digital ones. Not the digital ones.
These originally started as capsules, if you will.
Like
Dragon Ball.
Kind of. So, so the point of this episode, like I said, just wanted to dive into a little bit of the history of Pokemon up till what I consider to be the reboot of the franchise, if you will.
The Renaissance, if you will.
Yeah. Black and white. So it's going to go through gens 1 through 6. I said black and white. And
why does it not be black and white?
Because it's
not yellow.
We will talk about yellow. Yes.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, to kind of bounce off the last time we had this show, we talked about the Game Boy, and what a lot of people fail to realize is if it weren't for the release of Red and Green in Japan, the Game Boy probably wouldn't have had its second renaissance.
Red and Green, hold on.
Yeah.
I never played Red and Green. I played Red and Blue.
So
the colors on the American flag.
So don't run.
We're anyways. So yes, for people who didn't know, the first 2 Pokemon games released in Japan were Pokemon Red and Green. They were released on February 27th in 1986 on the original Game Boy. What's really unique about them is the development history of that game spans almost 10 years. It started in kind of pre-alpha, if you will, like the developmenting side of things, as far back as 1988. Masuda, who's
Masuda-sama?
Masuda Satoshi I can't say his name right now, and it's bothering the shit out of me. Satoshi Miyamoto and Masuda, who were kind of the 3 key pillars of that, were responsible for creating that. And Satoshi, who, if you don't know, is the original director of the first 3 games, so Red and Blue, Gold, Silver, and Ruby Sapphire, has said that the inspiration actually came from him being a kid and capturing bugs in the Gachapon capsules in the kind of the forested areas of Japan as a child. So in 19...
Wouldn't that kill the bugs?
So the game was built off of animal abuse and perpetuates.
Like pretty much. So in 1988, Game Freak, who was originally a magazine company in Japan, were trying to get in the games development world. And in 1989, Satoshi partnered off with Nintendo and started developing games for the NES and the Game Boy. These included things like Yoshi, which, if you guys don't know, is a puzzle game that featured Yoshi, Mario and Wario, which is another puzzle game.
Did he skip
and
a word
while they
or
were working
something?
on that,
I think he did, because
Okay.
it's not just Yoshi.
Are you talking about Yoshi Cookie or whatever?
no,
that
it's
was?
just called Yoshi. Yoshi Cookie is the sequel to Yoshi.
Oh.
So Yoshi
Ah.
Yoshi Cookie was developed by R&D 3.
Oh, no, I think he's right, because I did have an NES game called Yoshi.
Yes.
That was just like a Tetris kind of thing.
It was like
Really?
Tetris
Well,
effect.
I
Where
played
you were
Yoshi Cookie, which is similar to that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
so like with Yoshi, you had like eggs, right? Like eggshells.
They-
a bottom half
you
and
were-
a top half.
you were catching Goombas, Piranha Plants, and Ghosts,
Yeah.
and when you caught them, they became eggs and disappeared off.
And then-
Yoshi Cookie was you had cookies on a screen, you matched the cookies, and they disappeared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yoshi
no,
Cookie
no,
was great.
he's right.
Yeah. So in between both those games, they were looking for an epic game, and Satoshi had the idea for creating an RPG that would utilize all of the features of the Game Boy. One of which he really thought was important was the link cable. He wanted the ability for like friends, family, people to come together and be able to use the link cable to either complete their game journey or share what they've seen with other people, because he liked doing that as a kid.
Okay.
So he started with the development process of Pokemon Red and Green, and it went through a very uphill battle with a lot of development issues. Some stuck in the game. That includes things like the missing number trick, which inevitably became, missing no. But ultimately, the game was released on February 26th in 1996 as the Game Boy was losing traction, and it actually did not sell well for the first few months. It wasn't until about April or May that the game started picking up popularity in Japan. And around that time, they started talking about anime and things of that nature and the cards. And Nintendo of America originally wasn't going to bring it over to the US. They thought it was going to be very niche and very kind of counterproductive and counterintuitive. In that same time frame, because the popularity of Pokemon Red and Green and the anime, Game Freak and Pokemon Company and Nintendo began development on a version based on the anime, which was inevitably Pokemon Yellow. And then there's Pokemon Blue, which, because the game was so successful but rated with many bugs and issues, they cleaned it up a little bit. And Pokemon Blue was released in Japan as a standalone version about 5 months after the game, but as a mail-in only. You had to have a Koro subscription, which is a gaming magazine in Japan, to even buy it for the first 5 years of its release.
So wait, Japan got more Pokemon than we did?
Yes.
That's not fair.
So because of the popularity and because of the stability in in the Blue version, that became the basis for the American version of Red and Blue. And when Nintendo decided to start bringing that game over, they used the sprite data from Blue and Green, the character layouts from Red and Green, and called the game Blue because, you guys made the joke earlier, Nintendo of America thought Red and Blue would be more justifiable in the United States.
Blue is also the best color, so that kind of...
Yeah. So
Green does suck.
I don't know about you guys. My first version was Pokemon Blue.
Yep.
I think I said that
Same.
last week.
I have a question for you, Professor Lightbody.
Okay.
Two things. One, you brought up the link cable, and I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Did every Game Boy come with a link cable?
Only in America. So in Japan, it was a separate purchase. It was completely... when you bought a Game Boy in Japan, you had the Game Boy. That was
I remember having to buy mine separate.
Well, if you're a child and you threw the cable away...
I probably threw it
then
away.
Yeah. So in Japan, they wanted... Like I said, Satoshi was very, very big on wanting players to be able to complete their Pokedexes and work with friends and family to complete that. So he has always said that the point of Pokemon was originally birthed from the link cable. He said, that was his idea, was he wanted to use that as a key feature of the game. So in the United States, it became a little easier because you did get a link cable packed in with the old DMG Game Boys. But Game Boy Pockets, Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advances never came with it. So I remember having a Game Boy regular link cable, but because I played Pokemon Red and Blue on a Game Boy Color, I still had to buy a link cable. and I think most people had to.
Yeah,
so
I definitely had to buy one.
So
now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, continue on with the link cable. Mine's kind of separate.
So
mine's separate too. Yeah, I got another question.
So what ended up happening is the game
Should I
was
be
really
taking notes?
there's a quiz at the end. No, so the United States inevitably did get the game. It did take 2 years to translate, prepare, complete, and release, and it was released on October 25th, 1998 in the United States. And for about the first month, the game did not sell in the US. It sat on shelves. People didn't know what it was. They were confused with it. It wasn't until the release of the anime that November that the game took off.
Oh
and
shit! I know. I bought Blue day one that was available in America.
Really?
Well, that was about to lead to my next question.
Okay.
The Pokemon VHS was that that was before the game too, right?
Yes. So the first,
because that's how I learned about it.
The first episodes the first 3 episodes were released on VHS. Ironically, about a week and a half before Pokemon Red and Blue came out in the US. And that was used as like stealth marketing. But for kids like me that I didn't know that VHS existed, I found out about Pokemon from a friend of mine on my street. He had it and he was showing me it one day and it was like the coolest thing in the world. And from that point,
I subbed to the Nintendo Power, so I guess that's how I got mine.
Okay.
This video is all kinds of weird, by the way.
So
yeah. Because I learned about Pokemon by walking in on my 3rd grade classroom one day, and there was just a poster on the wall said, "You got to watch it." And I was like,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was like whatever, because we had posters of different cartoons and stuff on the wall, whatever the teacher, like, I don't know, found at FYE or Sam
also,
Goody
that
or some
poster
shit.
came in the VHS.
Did it really?
Uh-huh.
Miyamoto came over to your class and just slapped one on the wall.
So keep in mind, while we're getting Pokemon Red and Blue in the US, Japan's getting Pokemon Yellow. So that gets brought over in 1999 in the US. But in 1998, Japan begins preparing for Pokemon 2, was the original name for Gold and Silver.
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Oh, yeah, that is the name for Weekend of Birdies 2. I was going to make
Nope,
Weekend of Birdies.
that's not.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yep.
Anyways.
No, Justin, you missed the joke. Anytime somebody says something to, you just
it's
add Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, no matter what.
So Japan was working on Pokemon 2,
Electric
Gold and Silver.
Boogaloo.
Yeah, it didn't have a color. What was cool about it was going to use all the original planned data from Red and Blue, or Red and Green. I'm just going to call them Red and Blue. So when Red and Green were being developed in Japan, they had an idea for 300 plus Pokemon, and a lot of them got cut, a lot of them got changed. The 150 that were made in were hand selected by a combination of Nintendo Japan, Game Freak, and the development staff. So they decided to add 100 more into Gold and Silver, but they also figured this was going to be like the last game. Satoshi Tajiri was like, "This is it. I'm going to end it here." That's why you got both Johto and Kanto in Gold and Silver.
That was the best one.
Yep. And what's also unknown, or not very well known, is Gold and Silver actually got canceled at one point and completely restarted.
What they say. Ugh.
Who?
What they tweet about.
Who's tweeting?
He's making a joke about being canceled, Justin.
Oh.
Man, that's 2. If you thought we were going to make you hosting this episode real easy, you got another thing coming, pal.
No, so it got canceled because Nintendo figured it was too ambitious. They wanted not only the real working calendar or clock, but a real working calendar. So the game would be like Animal Crossing, and you would have had like reactions with things to holidays, whether Christmas or New Year's. You would have even put in your birthdays at one point, proposed to be out there, and they wanted to like have you be able to. Is this the videotape you were talking about, by the way?
Yeah, this is the VHS.
Okay, I thought you meant the one with the cartoons in it. I don't know about this tape. I've never seen this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this tape was fucking nuts.
But yeah, so they almost canceled Pokemon Gold and Silver because it was too ambitious, and that's kind of where it was sat for a while. It was announced in 1998 at Space World as Pokemon 2. If you ever get the chance, Todd, there's some beta footage that leaked out about a year ago of the second beta build that was released. It was shown in 1988 Space World as Pokemon 2.
I mean 97.
And yeah, that one. And it was incredibly ambitious. So they showed the demo, and then it went silent for the year. And then when it came back, it was known as Gold and Silver. And at that point, it was a little bit more polished. But if you look, this very early build of the game actually contains a lot of elements that are still there. So you have things like, so this is the second beta build. Yes, this isn't the first one.
So basically what you're saying is that they showed off a game that had more features than what actually came out.
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't even ready at the time. Oh,
yeah, it was a vertical
Bull
slice,
shots.
if you will. So while that's all happening in Japan, and Japanese fans are, clamoring for more games, and at this point, they haven't had a game since 1998 with Pokemon Yellow, the United States is getting Pokemon Red and Blue. And in 99, after the popularity of the anime, we get Pokemon Yellow, which in Japan isn't even called Pokemon Yellow. It's called Pokemon Pikachu Edition.
So, I wondered why I've heard that name before. I was
yes.
like, I've never heard of Pikachu. Look at all these sprites that don't exist.
Yep. So if you...
Yeah. Oh, that's Meganium, though. What the fuck?
Yes. So some of these sprites actually did make it into the final game, but if you look, there are some sprites, like the Cyndaquil line is completely different.
Was Milk Tank in here?
Yep.
Oh, there's Falafi.
Wow.
Yep. If you look,
there's Hoot Hoot.
Giraffig is in there, but he has the weird
Slowking.
Yeah. So
one of my favorite Pokemon.
So what a lot of people also don't realize is there are 3 Pokemon in Gold and Silver that were not created by Game Freak or Nintendo. They were created by Toho and the creators of the anime. That's nope. It is Lugia, Snubbull, and Slowking.
Is it because they were in the movie way before Gold and Silver 2? Or Gold and Silver?
Yep. So Lugia was designed, and he was originally called Pokemon X. He wasn't going to be in Gold and Silver. And then because he was being made specifically for the second Pokemon movie. Oh. And the creator of the Pokemon movie, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, actually convinced Game Freak to add him into the game because he wanted to keep continuity.
Hey, Justin.
Yes.
When was that Pokemon movie out?
So in Japan, the Pokemon first movie came out in 1996.
That's the one with the weird vacation mini movie before it, correct?
Where Ash punches Mewtwo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He got hands because he put up the shield.
That one was released in Japan in 1998. And we got it the year later in 1999. And these movies did also include the Pikachu vacation things and everything at the beginning of them. We also got Pokemon, the movie 2000 and 2000. That one was 1999. And every year since then has had a Pokemon movie, except I don't think there's going to be one in 2021. They haven't announced one. And they're usually announced the Christmas before they come out.
Do they count if it's just a remake, a 3D remake of the original one?
Yep, that is counted.
Does it count whenever they have Pikachu talk in English at the end of the movie?
That's considered a canon.
That was a movie 2 years ago.
3.
Are you talking about Detective Pikachu?
No.
Detective Pikachu?
No. The end of Pokemon the movie I Choose You ends with Pikachu saying something
in English to Ash, I love you, Ash, in a young female voice. And I saw that at Alamo. Oh, by the way, Justin, for context, Ronnie was there.
Nice.
And the second Pikachu talked in English, the entire fucking place turned on the movie so bad. Because it's all people my age, early 30s, that grew up watching it. And they're like, what have you done? Also, I want to point out that I think this is Scizor in the corner. And then there's
in the green. Yeah.
There's a really weird early version of Leafeon in the corner. There's some weird ones.
So Pokemon Gold and Silver, was announced as Pokemon 2, and then it was dropped in 97 and just called Pokemon Gold and Silver. Eventually they did drop the 2 off completely, but what happened was it was released in 1999. And I don't want to dive into all the mini games or all the side games because we could be here all day talking about the Hey You Pikachu game. We'd be talking about Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, which, by the way, I suck at all the mini games. I only play Stadium 1 and 2 for the actual battling mechanic, but I know a lot of people love the mini games and stuff like that, or even
that sushi go round game, man.
Yep, and then
Best
Pokemon
game.
Snap, which is getting its sequel 20-something years later.
Starring
What
who?
about that one,
Starring who, Justin?
Starring
What's the guy's name that takes the
Terry.
fucking picture? You're a fucking idiot. I hate you.
No, it's Todd. Oh my god.
You're an idiot.
Nope.
I am.
It was Todd. Yeah.
It was Todd. Todd has his own game.
I do. And I'm going to remake soon.
But so Pokemon Gold and Silver was released in Japan in 1999 and was not only the most anticipated Game Boy game of the United States, or of the year for the United States. I didn't know this until I was doing research for this episode. Was one of the most pirated games in the year build-up to the United States release, and still was the number one selling game for 2000. So what had happened, a lot of people fail to realize, is that there was a year gap between Gold and Silver's release in Japan and the US. Kids like me who had access to the internet downloaded the ROM and would play it in Japan, or Japanese, just to see what the game was like, just to get a glimpse of this title, having no idea what the...
I bet some kids learned some Japanese from that.
That's how Endrew learned
the family computer.
Pokemon Gold and Silver releases in the United States October 15th, 2000. Immediate critical acclaim. It's considered to be one of the best Game Boy games. Is responsible for, between Pokemon Red and Blue and Pokemon Gold and Silver, is responsible for the obscenely high amount of Game Boy Color sales across 1998, 1999. And this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox about it for a second. Nintendo actually constitutes the sales of Game Boy Pockets, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy DMGs as one sale figure because of Pokemon. Because Pokemon was the highest attaching SKU to all three of those SKUs for 3 years. So when we were talking about the Game Boy and y'all were like, no, Game Boy Color is its own thing, the Game Boy Color is always lumped in with the Game Boy Pocket and Game Boy DMG because it inflates the sales for Pokemon. Because they don't want to say Game Boy Color was successful because of Pokemon, which it was. They want to say the Game Boy line was.
You know, the first game that I ever had for my Game Boy Color was Pokemon Pinball.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And oh man, did I play the fuck out of that.
So Pokemon Gold and Silver comes out in 2000, is considered to be revolutionary, and to Game Freak is actually considered to be the last game they're ever going to do for that system. At least in 1999 when it's released in Japan. They thought they were going to be finished with it, that this was going to be it. Oh, were they wrong? Were they? But that is, a lot of people don't fail to realize. That's why you got Johto or Kanto at the end of Gold and Silver. That's why it was so ambitious. Was Game Freak wanted to make sure it was the most ambitious Pokemon game ever because it was going to be the last one. So you got your real-time clock. You got the calendar to a degree where certain days of the week would influence certain things in the game. Like you had the bug catching contest every Wednesday. You had the beauty contest every Friday. You had certain things on Saturday. You could only catch certain Pokemon at certain times of the day. Kids like me who were ridiculously crazy would wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning because that's when the game constituted as morning, just to catch a ladybug in Silver because you can only catch it between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Because it sounds like you're doing like complaining from experience.
Yeah. No, I love it. Like, to me, that is the most I said it last week and I'll say to it right now. That is the best game to me on the Game Boy, period, is Gold and Silver. There is something about that game that resonates with me. I don't know if it's the 16 gym badges, the challenge of fighting your player character at the end of the game and seeing a complete team of starters. But yeah, games come out, incredible success. 1999, Nintendo approaches Game Freak this time and talks to them about starting a new Pokemon game for their new console, which at the time was Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire on the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance isn't announced at this point. It doesn't get announced till, I believe, late 99 in Japan and early 2000 in the United States. The game doesn't go into any type of development anywhere until 2000. So there's about a year gap where there just wasn't any talk of Pokemon. You had like Pokemon Stadium 2, but those games weren't even done by Game Freak. The Stadium games were done by a third party. The Snap games were done by HAL Laboratories, who are the guys known for Super Smash
Kirby.
Brothers.
Kirby.
Yep, Kirby and Smash Bros. So Pokemon
yeah.
Ruby and Sapphire get announced in 2001, and they're announced as like next generation Pokemon for the Game Boy Advance. Gets shown at Tokyo Game Show that year to critical acclaim. People are freaking out because the graphics look so much better. You have a more accurate weathering system. You have a day and night system. You have all of these things that were kind of in red and blue, kind of in gold and silver, but not quite there yet. Game gets announced for a Japanese release in 2003, and what blew everyone crazy was that they were supposed to release in a similar time frame in the United States. Japan eventually does get the game a little earlier. They release Ruby and Sapphire in 2002, and again, critical acclaim. Japan loves it. They love how Pokemon has finally kind of evolved and, pun intended, found itself.
Wow. Man.
Ruby and Sapphire are really unique because a few things happened with Ruby and Sapphire. Number one is the introduction of more competitive. Color was actually in gold and silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Ruby and Sapphire dive in with the introduction of things like natures, which affect your Pokemon on a more figurative level instead of just your stats by leveling up. So a certain nature could cause one stat to gain more stats than, say, another stat would, and you can't see that. You don't know what it's influencing, but I could catch a Groudon that has a different nature than Endrew's, have the same level and the same move pool, but because my nature benefits him and yours doesn't, mine would still be constituted as more powerful. Completely rebalances the game. They kind of fix balancing with type charts. In fact, even though Gold and Silver introduced the Dark and the Fairy typing in Gold and Silver, they redistribute. Yeah, I failed to mention that. Gold and Silver introduced 2 additional types. So
Fairy was in Gold and Silver?
No, not Fairy. Steel.
Yeah, I was about to say Steel and Dark. Yeah.
Steel and Dark were introduced in Gold and Silver.
Fairy's like
it's
5.
It's X and Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anywhere near that. But they added 2 additional types as kind of counterbalances only to Psychic, because what people didn't know is that Psychic had a broken stat metric.
Yeah, it was
where
it
was too strong, and there was nothing weak to or strong against Psychic in Red, Blue, and Yellow. In fact, the most powerful. No, Ghost is notorious for not having anything that can hit it. So, Ghost's one weakness was Psychic. Psychic's stat was based off of a physical stat, not a special stat. So every Psychic Pokemon, they were like, "Oh, it's going to be a special move," and they ranked up their physical stat, but because Psychic was a physical based attribute, it made the Psychic Pokemon incredibly strong. Ruby and Sapphire also introduced influences of typing of, like, say, water Pokemon using water moves. It would get an influence of type advantage on that, not necessarily just water is strong against fire. Yeah. And it does double damage. Now it introduces water Pokemon using water moves, get an additional buff on top of using it on a fire Pokemon. So a lot more competitive, to the point that this is when the competitive scene starts to begin to form. Ruby and Sapphire is when the Pokemon competitive meta became a thing. And in Japan, that's where you had, due to the popularity of the trading card game and already a world championship for that, Ruby and Sapphire is when they introduced it in 2005, I believe, for the Game Boy games. So you would generate your own team based off of what's strong and not strong, and then bring that to a competitive world. Kind of like,
if it's so competitive, why wasn't it in the movie Wizard?
Because I got nothing. I was making French sour. Game goes. The game comes out, and it is at this time that one big glaring flaw is noticed with Ruby and Sapphire. Is you can't do the tagline in the game, which is catch them all, because Ruby and Sapphire have no way to trade backwards or forwards with Gold, Silver, Crystal, Red, Blue, Yellow. They needed a way to bring the games remaining Pokemon, because in Ruby and Sapphire, you can only catch 452 Pokemon, I believe is the number. So at the time, or no, it's 286. Sorry. And at the time, there were 386 in the Pokedex. So there's 100 Pokemon uncounted for. And what ends up happening is they release Fire Red and Leaf Green, not as like an anniversary game, because it wasn't released on the anniversary, not even as a game to celebrate anything. It's literally released to give players the ability to complete the Pokedex.
Interesting.
How much did they have to pay? Did they have to pay full price for those?
Yes. So Ruby and Sapphire were released at $34.99. Fire Red and Leaf Green were released at... Oh, and also because continuity with Japan, US doesn't get Water Blue, we get Leaf Green. So
what the fuck?
Ugh.
I want Water Blue.
Japan wins again.
So one thing that people
I'll summon
didn't know...
Godzilla to take care of them.
Am I the only one here that bought Fire Red, Leaf Green?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so one thing that's interesting about Fire Red and Leaf Green is without that, the DS wouldn't have had wireless capability. So
like Wi-Fi?
Yeah. So Fire Red and Leaf Green, when Ruby and Sapphire came out, you still had the Game Link cable. And Nintendo at the time was like, we wanted more elegant way, and Game Freak comes in, they're like, hey, we have an idea to do battles and trades without a cable. We want to do it via wireless. So they included a wireless adapter in the game for Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. And what that would do is allow you to connect with your fellow player without the need of the link cable. So it was completely wireless. And Nintendo has come out and said that it was the success of Fire Red and Leaf Green and the success of the wireless adapter that allowed them to do Wi-Fi in the DS, because they realized that was a more elegant solution than cables.
I remember Wi-Fi on the DS was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, especially if you had security on your Wi-Fi.
Oh my god.
The one thing that I personally really like about Ruby and Sapphire is it's the last time Satoshi Tajiri had anything to do with the Pokemon games. At this point, he hands everything over to Junichi Masuda, who's the current kind of project lead in charge of anything Pokemon related. So at this point, because Satoshi Tajiri was like, I did 1 and 2, I consider that my magnum opus. Masuda was like, I'll take the reins. So they work together on Ruby and Sapphire, and then we get to Diamond and Pearl, which I think Todd said he played that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Diamond and Pearl.
I've played every generation.
Okay, so I'm not the only one who's...
I don't count Fire Red and Leaf Green as a generation.
It's not. So any remakes that are released with a paired version are constituted as part of the paired versions generation. So like Fire Red and Leaf Green are still in Gen 3. They use the Gen 3 engine. They're part of the Gen 3 universe. Each game has its own storyline. Fire Red and Leaf Green technically tie into the storylines that were started in Ruby and Sapphire. And one thing that I really like is before Crystal, you didn't have a female trainer. So the female trainer in Fire Red and Leaf Green is based off the original design of the female trainer that was going to be in Red and Green in Japan in 96. So some 15 years later, the game, or not 15, 5, whatever it is, 2000, when the game's released, I can't do math right now, in 2004, 8 years later, she finally gets her comeuppance in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. And
breaking glass ceilings.
Right?
Super effective.
Man, Justin's really happy that there's no female trainer.
Complete opposite. So 2005, the Nintendo DS comes out, and everyone's talking about, hey, what's the situation? And Nintendo's like, hey, we're working on a new Pokemon game. In 2006, it gets announced that the next generation of Pokemon games are coming out on the Nintendo DS. They're announced that January for release that fall in Japan. And those games are Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And with them comes a slew of new Pokemon, 100 new Pokemon in that version. But the biggest thing that's exciting about Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is Wi-Fi. So these games allow you to battle, trade, and play with your friends against anybody, anywhere in the world. And they can do that via the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, which was a big selling feature of this and actually launched with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. So Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are actually not only responsible for wireless battling in Pokemon, but bringing the Pokemon to the pseudo 3D dimension. Not full 3D yet, but almost there. So the overworld is a lot more interactive. It's a lot more flowing and free. I say interactive. It's complete opposite, but like you have a depth of dimension that you didn't have before.
The speed run that we're playing for the video viewers, he has 2 Pokemon. He has his Infernape, and then he has a fucking Bidoof.
So that was the thing. So we were talking. I talked a lot about competitive, and Bidoof was actually he won Worlds in 2008, I believe it was, and it was because he learned not false swipe. One of the physical moves he was able to learn was beneficial for Bidoof because he had such a high defense stat but such a low attack stat that he was able to survive what at the time was constituted to be just an insanely overpowered team. Because in competitive Pokemon, you get 3 seasons usually per game's generation. You get the restrictive year, which is the year where you can only use that generation's like regional decks. So in Diamond and Pearl, it would be the Sinnoh decks and so on and so forth. Then the next year you get open to the full national decks, but only not including the Pokemon. I love that you put that up. I actually loved that email. You get opened up to like Pokemon that were not necessarily exclusive to that Pokedex that you earn in the end game or the post game, but not legendaries or big hulking like mythical Pokemon. Then the third year is no holds barred. You could bring your level 100 Mewtwo with 1-hit shots to a competitive game. And Bidoof was in that second year because Gyarados was running rampant because of how broken of a typing he was, and Bidoof was able to take over for that, and it's great. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl released 2007. What's really great about them is it's 100 new Pokemon, but it's also one of the first games where the player can complete the entire Pokedex without having to buy like a third version or anything like that. You could capture every Pokemon via you could bring your Pokemon from Ruby and Sapphire up through the game using the Game Boy slot and the DS. Trade with your friends using the internet, so you don't have to like go to little Endrew's house next door and hope that he's home and have the link cable or the adapter ready. You could do it at 4:00 in the morning on Reddit if that existed in 2007.
So 4:00 in the morning, I can go over to Andrew's house and be like, it's time to fucking trade.
I wish you would. Oh, buddy.
The mid version for this is constituted as the best Pokemon game, and that's Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Those were released a year later in Japan in 2007, released in the US in 2008. Those are actually now considered to be the rarest and most sought after Pokemon games on the market and sell complete for almost $200.
My Pokewalker.
Complete remakes of Pokemon. Complete remakes of Gold and Silver. Is this Pokemon Rusty?
Yeah.
I love Pokemon Rusty.
Fucking Ed brought it up. Now I had to play it.
Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver releases. Some new features are added in, including the Pokewalker that Todd's mentioned, which was a pedometer and is actually still constituted. It's the most accurate pedometer.
Accurate, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
it's insane to think that little thing is the most accurate pedometer that you can find.
The
Bro,
Pokewalker. The Pokewalker's idea comes from a little pocket Pikachu virtual pet that was released in '99. So because of the pocket Pikachu, you get Pokewalkers in Gold and Silver, some 10 years later. And what's unique about the Pokewalker is as you bring your Pokemon with you, not only are they gaining experience and all of that, you're able to use the watts is what they call them to generate by walking to get items and unique events that you can only get through the Pokewalker.
Not gonna lie, I would love a copy of Soul Silver with a Pokewalker now.
I would love, yes, and Alex is right. It also included new areas. You did unlock new areas with Walker. You actually have still the Walker, don't you? Yeah, one of the guys in chat on the Twitch is
live every 2 weeks on Sundays.
Yep.
Look at you. You're already better than Jim. He used to say every Sunday.
He's actually got
he
the
dropped it.
Pokewalker.
No, he just lost
But yeah,
$200.
the Pokewalker is damn it, Todd. Yeah, he has 2 of them.
Fucking dork.
Damn, give me one, dude.
$200.
Yeah, no, a complete version. I was going through some of my games on my shelf the other night. A complete version with the Pokewalker and the full box of Pokemon Gold and Silver goes for about $250. There is a Walmart exclusive.
What this thing is worth? Huh.
The version that was ironically a Best Buy and Walmart exclusive that came with the figures of Lugia and Ho-Oh go for almost $400.
Ho-Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So, during the development of Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver, this is when the Pokemon Company completely absolves back over publishing rights from Nintendo. So now, while Pokemon is a Nintendo property, they don't do the publishing of the game. Pokemon Company does it, and they're their own standalone. The other really big thing is this is when Game Freak divides into 2 teams. So one team works on one game, one team works on the other. And the team that had been working on the primary game while Heart Gold and Soul Silver are being developed is the team that eventually makes Pokemon Black and White. Oh my god, I hope you buy it.
That $4 in shipping is just too much. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh my goodness.
I like that you're putting your address out there too.
Yeah,
Doxing yourself.
Oh, damn.
Pokemon Black and White come out, and for me, this is a really special Pokemon game because this is about the point I dove completely backed in. But I think I cut out. Did I cut out?
A little bit.
You're good.
Back. I get announced 2008, shortly after the release, 2008, shortly after the Japanese release of Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver in Japan, right before the US release of Heart Gold Soul Silver, with an announced release date of sometime in 2010. What's unique about Black and White is a lot of things. Number one is it's the first Pokemon game that did not
include a black character.
No, one of the characters is questionable.
Oh, they still don't have black people good.
Yeah, they do. Anyway, Black and White is unique for a lot of reasons. The first one is it was the first truly fully 3D Pokemon game. The engine that it was running at the time was completely rebuilt from the ground up, so it was running in a 3D world, not that weird pseudo two-thirds 3D, not over the back, but very Pokemon style, but in a more 3D world. It also introduced the Pokemon, I'm going to blank on the name, and I've got the note here, Pokemon Dream Link, or the GSL. Dream World, Global Link and Dream World. I get those confused, and I have them confused in my notes.
What is
Global
the Pokemon
Link,
Dream Girl?
It's what your heart desires the most.
Go ahead and pull up that website, and we'll take a look at all of them right now.
So, Pokemon Global Link is the ability to trade Pokemon by uploading them up on the internet and claim dibs for other Pokemon. So, you could say, I'm looking for X Pokemon, and Nick is looking for a Y Pokemon, and you could trade those Pokemon over the internet. Dream World was you would upload them to play minigames on a website through the Global Link, and with that you would unlock special. Yep, he's the chat's got it right. Muna and Murshana would be used to power it.
I didn't care about them.
Why do you have X and Y up?
Endrew told me to look up Pokemon Dream Girl.
Hey, no.
Yes.
So I pulled up Cynthia.
Cynthia is.
Isn't she like the best mom or something?
Yes. So what I like most about Pokemon Black and White was it's considered to be kind of the reset for the franchise. The game introduces 150 brand new Pokemon, but what's really cool about it is you can only catch those 150 Pokemon until you beat the game. So until you beat the Elite Four and become champion, you don't see any Pokemon that you have seen before. Masuda has said that one of the reasons he did that was he wanted Black and White to feel fresh, to feel...
Wait, say that again?
So in Pokemon Black and White, until you beat the Elite Four, you won't see any Pokemon that you have seen in a previous game.
Oh, okay. I misheard that.
Okay, that's why. Okay, because I was so in for Black and White, and then I bought it, and I was just like,
You can't
I
catch
don't
that
know
Pikachu.
any of this crap.
Yeah.
Where the hell are the Pidgeys?
So Black and White were released, and what's kind of cool about it is 150 Pokemon get announced, and they get shown. And you can, like I said, you can only catch that, but then once you beat the game, you have opening to all 649 Pokemon, which, by the way, now there's between 150 at the beginning. We're now up to 650. Not even
That's
including.
it?
I know. Oh, now there's over 900, or about to be
9,000.
900.
9,000. It's
9,000.
8,000.
How much did Sword and Shield get it up to? I'm confused.
I thought it was like 849.
I thought it was like an even. It may be an even 850. You're right. Yeah, it's an even 850.
Not including like the remakes of Moltres and all that.
Was that
bullshit.
including
No,
you? So it's 851?
Chat is saying 898.
Yeah, it is 898 because it's almost 900. Yeah, it's 898. But Black and White come out and release again to massive acclaim, and then this happens, and Todd pulled it up. About 2 years later, we don't get the third version that we normally get. So normally you get your two main versions, and then you get a third version, which is the
Game of
finished
the Year edition.
Yeah, like the finished Game of the Year edition.
The
All the
ones
bugs are
without
scrubbed
missing
out.
no.
No, Yellow still has Missing No.
Does it really?
Yeah, so Missing No is a bug in the original game because each game loaded a timetable depending on the world that you came into. So the problem with Missing No is between Cinnabar Island and Route 19 or Route 9 or whatever route it is that you're going against. Yeah, that's what it is. 900. Anyways, there's no break in the table. So what's happening is it's supposed to be loading in for Cinnabar Island while still loading out for the route. And until you step onto Cinnabar Island, it can't fully load in. It's a memory dump issue, which causes Missing No to come out.
Interesting.
So Black 2 and White 2 get announced. With Black 2 and White 2, this is a unique version for a couple of reasons. Number one is you don't get the third version. You get two versions. And they're the first time that you get a true sequel to a Pokemon game. Black 2 and White 2 are direct sequels to Black and White, new protagonists and everything, where you see the world 3 years later after the end of Black and White. So characters come back. They've got new designs. The villains are kind of rebuilding the story and everything. From that point, you then get to catch. You start at a different city, so you don't start at the starting city from Black and White. You start in one of the middle towns in the game and work your way kind of in a giant circle around that. But what's really cool about Black 2 and White 2 is it's kind of the culmination of everything up to that point. So yes, you can catch all Pokemon from the beginning. It introduces fusing Pokemon, so you can take a key item in the game and take the box art Pokemon from Black and White and fuse them with the third versions, or with the what would have been the third version Pokemon at that time, and make a black version and white version of him. You introduce a more stable internet system where a lot of people don't realize Black 2 and White 2 introduced an quote unquote anti-cheating method, because that game, as opposed to Black and White, is region locked in the US, and also the online had a scrubber where it was trying to find, those Pokemon that you would use a Game Shark or anything for. Didn't work that well, actually, but it kind of started to bring that forward and then brought motion into the battles. So Pokemon had full motions. They weren't static sprites on screen. A lot of advancements made there. Then you move into X and Y, and I could talk about X and Y, Sword, Sun and Moon. Those are the newer ones. I'm going to kind of lump those together before Sword and Shield. X and Y, Sun and Moon are released on 3DS, fully 3D Pokemon games. So cameras following behind you. You have 3D models instead of sprites. Battles are done in a 3D world where the camera's dynamic and following the Pokemon as they're making moves. Fully enveloped with the... Oh, yeah, and Omega Ruby's Alpha Sapphire in there too. Yes. I'm getting to the remakes.
I thought those were after.
Those are after X and Y, before Sun and Moon. And then Sun and Moon has their own paired versions, which are Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Garbage.
And then, yes, Sun and Moon are, in most people's opinions, the weakest ones of the series because the story's it's too story driven with non-skippable cutscenes. The Pokemon designs seem very
They don't even have
uninspired.
gyms.
They don't. There's no gyms in this one. This is the one. Sun and Moons are the one that introduced trials. So you would like come in and you would say like, "Hey, I want to become the Kahuna of this island," and you would have to beat their master, and then he would give you like a charm. I didn't dive that far.
Sounds like a gym.
It
Yes.
does, but less cool. More like
Less
Moana.
cool. The Pokedex was a Rotom, which was a Pokemon that was introduced in Gen 4 that could take the form of different electronics and different like things in the world, and he became a Pokedex, and he talks to you just nonstop. It's not a fun game. It's still a Pokemon game, getting through the story, becoming the champion, which because Alola is a new region, and they say it's a new region, you would become the first champion, so there's no fighting a champion like every other previous game. It was supposed to be another soft reboot for the franchise. This one comes out, and then you get Sword and Shield. And
That's one.
sure, we'll go with the best one. I like the fact.
Big Pokemon.
Yeah.
Megamons.
So the
No.
3D ones, the 3D ones the 3D ones are really unique because each one of the 3D ones since X and Y have had some form of gimmick. So X and Y brought Mega Evolutions, which are like powered up, more powerful versions of your favorite Pokemon, where they would de-evolve back at the end. So like a Digi-evolution from Digimon.
Don't.
Sun and Moon got rid of Mega Evolutions as like the primary feature. You could still kind of use them. But their big thing was Z moves, which were really lame. And then Sword and Shield brought Dynamaxing, which is the Pokemon. I think you're about to show it here too. Yeah. Grows to like the size of a building. And
That one's
literally
actually a
showing Duraludon.
That one's a building. Yeah.
Makes them more powerful, have a larger move pool. At this point in the game, from X and Y on, the game becomes more streamlined for the competitive player, less for the casual player. So they start adding features like easy breeding, more visibility into your stats that were hidden away by the game data. They become visible for you to be able to breed, and that's where Pokemon as a competitive meta takes off. And the World Championships just blow up at this point. And these new gimmick features like G-Max, which is what you're seeing on screen now, or the Z moves in Sun and Moon, or the Mega Evolutions. They're kind of introduced as a way to, as Game Freak would put it, balance the game. They really just break the game. So it makes it very boring because, as Todd and you guys can attest, playing anything online, once a meta gets set, everyone follows the meta. And once a it is learned, you can't break away from it. It's like Overwatch. Once you realize, yeah, I'm pretty on point with that one. I get very jaded on this, and people will disagree with me, including the chat that's on Twitch right now.
I mean, there's a reason why it's meta because
there's ways that are balanced it. Strategies to a degree with these metas, but what ends up happening to a set is this is when you really begin to see Game Freak and the Pokemon Company really dive into, hey, first season's always going to be what's considered to be that region's dex. Second season will be the national dex, but not including a laundry list of Pokemon. And then the third season's always going to be, hey, it's open season, whatever you can get, as long as you... But eventually, once a meta is set, you see the meta for a good amount of time. Sword and Shield came out in 2017, 18?
I think 18.
Did not get that. 19. Wow.
Oh,
Jesus.
19. Okay.
I keep forgetting it's 2021. And this is
That sounds like Nintendo's trying to
first
silence
for a lot of
I was
things.
about to say,
First one
Justin
with
is
fully
using Nintendo Online for TeamSpeak, so sorry.
yes. Not too good tonight.
Too bad.
Yeah. No, now they're constantly.
So
Yeah,
I have a question for you, Justin. You were talking about the competitive meta.
Yeah.
There is, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. There is no randomization in stats, correct?
There is and there isn't, to a degree. The randomization is only once you catch the Pokemon. Then comes the fun part of competitive players and breeders will then manipulate the stats using a combination of breeding method to get their stat pool exactly right. So every Pokemon has individual values that are determined on a level of 0 to 31. And you'll breed your Pokemon with specific stats higher than others. So
Right.
we're using someone like Duraludon on the screen right now. I would breed him. I know he's inherently slow, so I would purposefully breed him with a high physical attack, or defense, depending on how I'm going to roll him. And then know that I'm going to undercut his speed. So I would breed him with the idea not to focus on speed. That's where the meta kind of gets set, and it gets set in a way that once somebody determines like the usefulness of a Pokemon or what they're going to use that Pokemon for, they'll build the team around it. And then that's where the strategy comes in. And that's why you'll see people like, especially myself and some of the guys that I talk to it and play with, one of the guys in chat who's kind of been chatting off nonstop and really helpful. And when I streamed myself playing Pokemon, would help me out too. It's built the community up where like we'll identify what the Pokemons go for, and then like any good team meta, you'll build your team around what you're developing him for. So it's not random. It's only random at the beginning when you first catch it.
So by that,
once you figure out where,
by that meaning, at some point there will be a perfect meta, correct?
So yes and no. So Pokemon Sword and Shield is kind of circumvent that by fucking with what's considered to be competitive every few seasons. So up until Sword and Shield, yes, you're right. It was found out, this one Pokemon is going to wipe the floor with everyone else. He's now considered to be the competitive meta, and I may build a team slightly different to him than you would, but you would find certain staple Pokemon in a team of 6. Competitive battling is also done 2v2, not 1v1. And it's done to kind of create different strategies, but also allow the games to go faster, and to allow for less stagnance in battles.
So let me ask: does Nintendo issue buffs and nerfs?
No, so there are different team metas, and so you have things like weather teams where you'll have Pokemon that influence weather to influence stats. You'll have Trick Room teams that influence speed priority. What they'll do instead is Game Freak and Pokemon Company every few months will say like these Pokemon are barred from the online competitive meta. You can only use this Pokemon and these are banned from, and they'll have like a ban list. And then sometimes they'll reintroduce, like when they opened up the Pokedex with the latest current season, they were just like, now they're like, hey, everything's up for grabs. So you'll see unique strategies, but like I said, once you get into higher level play, there are certain like see on a team. Like you'll pretty much at this point always see some form of a Landorus or Tornadus. You'll always see some form of you'll see Cinderace, who was the soccer player that was big in Sword and Shield.
I think the point that Nick and I were making was if there's no active buffing and nerfing, eventually
the meta sets.
The meta sets itself, and it can't be undone until like more Pokemon appear.
Yeah, and that's what they'll do, like ban lists and things like that.
But that's like counterintuitive to the whole Pokemon ethos. Is if you ban a Pokemon, you're banning someone's best friend from challenging into the league.
So one thing you want to keep in mind is that's why in a competitive world, you'll always have one season where it's like a specific pool. And then that way, once like you get, so when in 2019, when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, there was a meta that was set that was going to probably be set through a majority of the competitive meta because you could only use the Pokemon that were in core Sword and Shield. And then going into 2020, they were like, cool, now you can use the Pokemon that were introduced with the first DLC. So you have the first Pokemon in the DLC, or the Pokemon that were in the first DLC plus Sword and Shield. So now that opens up a bigger pool. But to your point, yes, eventually in the competitive meta, certain strategies get set. But since there's over at this point almost 1,000 Pokemon, you can always see different teams.
There's always some kind of counter.
Yeah, To a degree. There are Pokemon that are complete trash that you'll never see on a competitive meta because it doesn't make sense.
Like a far-fetched.
Metapod.
Metapod
is the meta. The true meta.
And then usually by this year, my guess is going to be we're probably going to see Sword and Shield not used after 2021 for any competitive work because you're going to see. I'm hoping the Diamond and Pearl remakes come out.
Got it.
And
Shining Diamond, whatever it is.
Yeah, Gleaming Pearl or Gleaming Diamond and Shining Pearl. And then that will kind of reset the competitive world for those games. Or maybe Sword and Shield will stick. It's kind of in this weird realm because the Diamond and Pearl remakes are also not constituted as they're looked at as how Let's Go was, and Let's Go was not a competitively viable game when those games were popular, or were the newest Pokemon games. The competitive scene was still on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Yes, Magikarp would be another one.
A literal garbage.
So when I was a kid, I did that. So that's my brief, condensed kind of history of Pokemon. Just talking about what it was originally going to be the first 5 gens, became all 8 gens. I don't know. Like, do you guys have any memories of Pokemon personally that I know everyone here said they at least played something like Red and Blue or Gold and Silver. Like, do you guys have?
I expressed a memory that I had on Retrospects. Check out some of our past episodes. But when I was playing, I think it was Red and Blue. Yeah, and I had Red version. I went over to a sleepover, and I told I was getting bodied by some friends that actually was really invested in Pokemon. And so I just did the missing no trick and started shoving rare candies down my Charizard's throat. And then I started wiping the floor with them, and a win is a win is a win. And guess what? Winners win.
Inch or a mile, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, I don't care if my Charizard got diabetes. It's like, you want to be a champion, don't you?
So you haven't personally, you haven't played Pokemon since, I guess, Game Boy, right? Like, you haven't dived into any of the games that have come out since then.
The last Pokemon game that I played, it was on the DS.
Okay.
I think it was... No, Endrew had X.
I had X, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the last one before that.
So Black and White.
Black and White.
Yeah, I think it was one of those.
Okay. Todd, I know you and I have talked briefly. You've played every generation,
I played
right?
every gen. I hated a few gens, but I think my path was like Blue, Silver, Sapphire, Diamond, Platinum for some reason, and then Soul Silver, then X, then Black, because that Pokemon looked cooler, and then Black 2, and then Sword and Shield. I had them both. I gave Geoff one of them. I don't remember which one. But yeah, I've played them all. I mean, I'm basic though. I don't care for competitive, and I don't care for collecting. I literally pick the Pokemon I want and make them stupid, overpowered, and just destroy people with them. Like, I will, if there's a Blastoise available, I will have a Blastoise. If Lugia is available, I will have Lugia. Which I liked about the weird thing about Sword and Shield, though. Like, I feel like, I owned Sun and Moon as well. I just never finished it because I got so annoyed by it. I ran through Sword and Shield with one Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that game was intentionally very easy.
So,
but I got a Hitmonchan and I destroyed everybody.
The thing that I pointed it out earlier, and the thing I've noticed is you will notice that getting through the storyline is substantially easier since right after Black and White. Black and White 2's EXP share was by default.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they had an EXP share that was kind of basic, where it was like, hey, all your Pokemon will get some XP, but the participants will get more. X and Y started throwing more XP at them just nonstop, and then by Sword and Shield, it was everybody gets a participation ribbon. So, and because that was a thing, there's a general known in the community that like the stories have gotten super easy. Like I could beeline what would take a little bit of skill in Black 2 and White 2 to finish. I could beeline the entire story of Sword and Shield in probably about 10 hours. Also because you can skip the cutscenes in Sword and Shield, thank God.
That is true.
So it makes them kind of easier. But yeah, like I think that's a good point, and I'm glad you did bring that up. There are generations that are debatably better than others. Like I think 2 is always going to be my favorite, but then like Gen 5 for me is one that I really enjoy playing, and that's the Black and White one.
I feel like I struggled in Red and Blue.
Yes, so Red and Blue is inherently incredibly unbalanced, and if there's one thing I can respect the Pokemon Company for and Game Freak for after 25 years, it's go back and play Red and Blue. It's pretty much at this point, once you get like certain Pokemon, you'll beat the game pretty quickly and easily. And then
I think it's because it's unbalanced why my favorite starter isn't actually Charizard, it's Blastoise. It's because
he made it easier. It was easy.
He made Brock like super easy.
Yeah.
And then
then you hit Lieutenant Surge and you get fucked.
But then you get to the back half of the game and he bitch slaps everyone again.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of people fail to see that.
Once you got Surf, it was all over.
What was it, Hydro Pump?
Hydro Pump, yeah.
Hydro Pump,
Surf was even... Because didn't
more
Hydro
broken.
Pump have a lower accuracy?
No, it had a higher accuracy. It had a lower attack amount. So Surf was just as accurate with a slightly less amount of attack points, but it was like 25 uses versus 5.
Also, yeah, you didn't get much PP.
Oh, yeah, PP.
Gotta get that PP. Like Endrew, I wanted to include like everyone here. Like, do you have a favorite memory, or do you like? I know we talked about it with the Game Boy episode where everyone here said like at one point or other they played Pokemon Red and Blue. Did you stop after a certain point, jump back in? Have you not played?
Let's see. My flow chart, I guess, or whatever. I forgot how Todd put it, but I went Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Gold, and then said, "Why am I doing this to myself?"
Sword and Shield.
and then Pokemon X and Y came about, and I was like, "Whoa, they've added depth to it." All right, I'll get back in, and I did not play that at all. I hadn't, and I don't know how much I played of it. I don't even know if I got through the first gym or not. And so I put that down, and then I know where I'm at. My fiance and my roommate, we were like, Pokemon Sword and Shield is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like the best thing ever. I feel like we were Seth Rogen in that Star Wars movie that he did.
Oh, Fanboys.
Fanboys, yeah, and he's got the Jar Jar Binks and Anakin Skywalker back tattoo. I feel like we were those guys. We're like, these are going to be this wolf with a sword and this lion shield guy. They're going to be fucking awesome. We're going to be all about it. And I don't even think I finished that one. I know I'm like maybe the second to last gym, but it's such a slog.
Well, because it wasn't Let's Go Eevee, your favorite Pokemon.
Oh yeah, no. That's actually Kristen's, and yeah, she I don't know, she's finished that one.
I never bought it.
Yeah,
I never finished it, so don't feel like I've actually never beaten those.
Oh no, I have no. I'm fine. I'm good with where I'm at as far as completion with Pokemon. No, it's like I understand it, I respect it. It's just when they got so in depth with so many things,
I just hate that they went so corporate.
Like they did, they sold the fuck out. Not like I don't care about what is it, IV balancing or whatever.
IVs and EVs,
EVs and all that.
I don't give a shit.
What is that? Is that inherited values and effort values?
Individual values and effort values.
So that kind of stuff doesn't matter to me. When you start talking about the breeding the Pokemon and whatnot, I don't care.
Did you not do the beauty contest?
Did you not do the Masuda method?
Absolutely hated the beauty contest. That's the one thing that kind of made me start going, all right, maybe this isn't for me.
Someone didn't rub their Pokemon's belly enough.
Exactly. And is the Masuda method just put a Ditto in there and throw something else at it? Yeah.
No, so the Masuda method is actually it's become more and more popular to try to shiny hunt. Fans will find a reason.
That's another thing. I don't give a fuck about shiny hunt.
So I'm in the same boat. Like when I'm breeding for teams that I want to play online with or do whatever, I'll have friends who are like, "Did you get that shiny perfect?" I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about shiny. I just want the stats to sit." I'm not going to spend an extra 20 hours digging for a Pokemon that's got a shiny to it. And shiny, it's weird. So I talked about it, and I'm going to reiterate it. The games have changed a lot in 25 years. It used to be shining Pokemon. A lot of people fail to realize that Gold and Silver make a reference to it in the story with the red Gyarados, and it's the first time you see a shining Pokemon that's a different color. And it was 1 in 840,000 interactions.
Stupid high
would be the 1% chance of seeing that Pokemon in a shiny form. So when you saw a shiny Pokemon, it was a big deal. Then you get to later generations and they become a little bit easier. And then you guys brought up a method that was introduced in Black and White, which is called the Masuda method, which is because you could trade with people around the world. If you had a Pokemon from a different region, it severely reduces the ability to get a shiny through breeding.
Yeah.
And then if you beat the games and complete the Pokedex in X and Y forward, they give you an item that's turned on by default in the game that just makes it so 1 in every 250 Pokemon is shiny. So
the shiny charm, is that what it's called?
So what ends up happening is I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you're buying the game for the experience, it's a great experience. And you can enjoy the story. You can enjoy, for me, playing through Sword and Shield, I was like, wow, this is great. It's in 3D. After a certain point, you're going to realize these games have evolved into being, I tell people all the time, they're competitive driven. The point of the story is to get you ready to start playing into the end game and playing into those competitive metas. Mm-hmm. There are people that still play it and you can play the game how you want. I have a friend who all he does is play the game to catch the Pokemon he wants. He's like, once I do it, I'm done with it. And I'll move on to the next one.
That's me.
That's Todd.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I play it. I don't even try to complete the decks. I play it, and then it's my, some people are like, I'm going to go play Overwatch when I'm bored, or Rainbow Six. And for me, it's I'll fucking hop on an online Pokemon match and just go try to rank up for a few months or a few days. And then once I hit the top rank, which is Master Ball, I'm done until I feel the need to go back online, because there's something about it that's fun instead of me, and that's where I think they're diving more towards. I'm hoping this year with the remakes for Diamond and Pearl, you guys will all see more things involving that. But that's my soapbox. And
well, I just had one question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
Have you ever attempted the Nuzlocke challenge?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've done 4 Nuzlocks. So I did a Nuzlocke on Diamond and Pearl. I did a Nuzlocke on Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black 2, and X and Y. And that was it. And it was to add more challenge, where it's once a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead, and you either have to release it or box it. You can only catch the first Pokemon you see, and there's different rules for a Nuzlocke. Some people are you can't. You have to nickname all the Pokemon. I don't do that at all. That's just too much work.
Because you haven't formed proper bonds.
Yes.
So you wanted me just to have some kind of Pokemon anecdote, right? Because I thought of one.
Go ahead.
So now, is it okay if it streams out? It's like in the world of Pokemon, but it's outside of the video games.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so for like what I think it was 2018. We all got, my fiance and our roommate, we got real into Pokemon Go again. I know what you think. It's Pokemon Go, right? But we use it as a way to go outside and do stuff with the world. So I had never ever done a raid with anybody. And so we went to the Memorial City Mall, which for listeners outside of Houston, that's kind of one of the bigger shopping malls that we have. And so I remember we went to one of the gyms that they programmed into the game, and we were fighting the Pokemon in there, and you have to keep fighting them until they faint. Yeah, what is a mall? You have to keep fighting them until they faint, and the people that own that Pokemon can keep throwing health stuff at them. And so we're like, why is we're fighting these guys, we're knocking them down, but they keep getting more life. What's going on, right? And so we're not even thinking about it. And then we see that the raid is about to start, just a little bit down the way, and so we start heading over that way. And I shit you not, it's like in a spy movie where they say you don't know who is the spy. It could be everybody, right? Mm-hmm. When we start heading over to the spot where the raid is happening, literally everybody, almost not almost everybody, but a good amount of the people there get up from their seats, from sitting on the floor or whatever, and they start heading over to where the raid is happening. And I'm looking around, I'm like, that's insane. It's older, people in their 40s or 50s. You have younger kids. You have, the people in their 20s and 30s, all, with their phone out, walking over to where this raid is going to be.
And the history and shit.
And so it's really eye-opening how big, I guess, Pokemon in general can be, just into the world. Because I remember after we finished that one raid, they have five others that pop up, and so you just walk over to the next area, and then you walk over to the next area, and it was odd having this weird entourage of people that were all walking together, and they don't look like they're friends or anything. They hang out all the time, but they're there, walking from spot to spot all together. And so it was a real interesting, they have, shiny mechanics in that too and whatnot. And I know for a while we kind of cared, but
yeah. When was the raid when everybody goes to Denny's at 2 a.m.?
That was after you go to the club raid.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the bar raid.
Everybody's grinding their Pidgeys on each other.
Kind of wonder how Pokemon Go did in 2020. I can tell you how Pokemon Go did in 2020. They actually gave you reasons to not go out. So these raids that I'm talking about, they gave you the ability to just sign into them from wherever you're at. As long as they were happening and there was one that you could get invited to, you're in it. So I will say they did it. They're doing good. They did some good things with it. Yeah, Florida's the one that failed. Absolutely. Sorry, Nick. Florida failed.
Well, guys, I think that's it for me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for letting me talk about this, for everything for so long.
What are we talking about?
Digimon.
Oh, sweet. I love Digimon.
All right, guys. Thank you again. This has been fun.
Andrew, plug your shit for 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys, do you love Pokemon? Yeah, you do. That's why you're listening, right? Do you love Digimon?
I do.
Okay. Oh wait. Guess
that's why in 1 month you will be able to experience one of the greatest podcasts on the planet.
Wait. 2 weeks from now.
Wait. No, well, he's talking about his podcast.
Oh.
That has nothing to do with anime, because that's what those two have in common. They're animes. Guess what? I love anime, and I, thankfully, with the ability and the kindness shown to me from Ranting Media, get to do my own show, Neat Trash. I hope everybody can join. It's going to be a fantastic time talking about all things anime, from all your classic stuff to a lot of your newer stuff to, all the underrated and garbage in between. So go ahead and be prepared for that. It's 2 weeks from now. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited just from that plug, but I know I am. So,
all right. Thanks everybody for listening. Retrospects will be back in about a month. We have 2 more pilot episodes. We're not going to spoil the one a month from now.
No, please don't. I really want to see how that goes.
Neat Trash will be out in 2 weeks. Thanks everybody for listening.
User disconnected.
Thanks.